toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in,
but we're okay with that.
You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
This is the Tavis Smiley Show. My name is Mark Riley. So glad you are with us. Our very special guest, investigative journalist and now filmmaker, Mr. Greg Tavis. Greg, I got to ask you, and this program, this film, I should say, Vigilantes, Inc., was produced by Martin Sheen and narrated by Rosario Dawson. I saw a story, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, that said that many people who are working, and it seems to be nationwide, but many people who normally work, at election time, as election workers or whatever, they're dropping out, they're leaving. Some of them are in fear for their safety. Is that what you're hearing as well, Greg?
In fact, you'll see that in my film. I should mention, by the way, this is a film. When that clip, when you heard Major Turner, an African-American soldier, saying, I have to fly 2,600 miles to get my ballot counted. By the way, he did. He did fly.
Oh, wow.
Because he took a lawyer with him from Washington, Mark Elias, who was just hired by Kamala Harris to do voter protection. This is brand new for the Democratic Party. So he came in with a Washington lawyer, flew in from California, and had to go to federal court to get his vote counted. However, 4,000 other black soldiers out of Fort Benning never got their votes, never got their ballot back. They never got their ballots. And this almost overturned the election in 2020 in Georgia. But and it's in this film. And then you heard me confront a woman where I said, is this an attempt? The woman I'm confronting in that clip you heard was running for vice chairman of the Republican Party of Georgia. She personally challenged, are you ready for this, Mark? 32,000 voters. She personally challenged 32,000 voters. I showed her a photo of her black neighbor, of a young black woman. And I said, do you ever see this woman? No. Do you know who she is? No. You ever speak to her? No. You ever go to her house and meet her? No. I said, but you challenged her right to vote. And she said,
what did she say?
And she said, I can't call 32,000 people. I said, but you challenged 32,000 black people's right to vote under these vigilante laws. So this was the first vigilante attack since 1946. And one woman, one Republican official, 32,000 challenges. Another Republican official, 4,000 challenges of black soldiers assigned to other bases, so they said they don't live in Georgia. Altogether, 180,000 people. We were able to stop that in a big campaign. I was working with Black Voters Matter, the great Latasha Brown and Cliff Albright. I was working with the Reverend Jesse Jackson. We got almost all those people back on the rolls. However, this year they've changed the law so that it's much, much, much harder to get back on the rolls. Gerald Griggs, the head of the NAACP, you may know him, the guy that threw R. Kelly in prison. You know, he said, this is a violation of the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871. We expect 300,000 challenges just in Georgia. And here's the danger. Here's the danger, Mark. When they took this out for test drive in 2020, they only had 88 vigilantes just in Georgia. The group that is fielding this, working with Donald Trump, True the Vote, they have now signed up 40,000 vigilantes for this election. Wait,
hold on for a second. 40,000?
They've signed up 40,000, and get ready for another number that should scare you. As of August 4, this crew of self-proclaimed vote fraud hunters, these are not the government, these are individuals, have challenged 852,000 voters. That was as of 5 weeks ago. It's got to be over 1 million now. And no one's reporting this except for, like I say, Kamala Harris's attorney Mark Elias is screaming, this is the biggest single Jim Crow threat to this election. It's brand new. When I say brand new, I want to be very careful. The film, which you can, by the way, thanks to the generosity of another one of our producers, George DiCaprio, and his son Leonardo, and Jamie Foxx, who's been financially supporting us, who says, by the way, it's a great film. You got to see it. It's the film. You can now download, stream it for free. It's called Vigilantes Inc. Vigilantes Inc. As of today, Vigilantes Inc. America's new vote suppression hitmen. So Vigilantes Inc. Just go to saveyourvote.org. Not Save My Vote or anything else. SaveYourVote.org. Not only download the film, but you can check your registration. You can check your registration there too.
When you're talking about challenging 800,000 people, don't they have to have a valid reason for doing this? Or they just do it and people get disenfranchised?
Basically, that's the practicality. They're supposed to. They have to sign affidavits saying that they have personal knowledge that the person that they are challenging is not a legal voter. Now, what's happened before is that one person could say, oh, Mark Riley shouldn't be allowed to vote here. But what they have done now, and this is brand new, it started in 2020 in Georgia, now it's going, they're giving lists of people to challenge in your county. People are downloading these lists, and like this woman did, she simply sent an email to her county clerk, this Republican official, to her county clerk saying, don't let these 32,000 people vote. Now, what they have to do is, like they told the major, they have to physically go into their county clerk's office, have a mini trial sometimes, or just they have to show all kinds of ID. You're going to have to take a day off work. It only happens to voters of color. We're back to the jelly, like the major said, we are back to counting jelly beans in a jar for black people. 852,000 voters as of 5 weeks ago. Now, most people don't even know they've been challenged. The major called and said, what happened to my ballot? Most people, they just don't get their absentee ballot in the mail, or they show up and someone says, oh, you've been removed from the voter rolls, because they're supposed to get a postcard. It looks like junk mail. Almost no county actually sends out that card. And so this is now when I say it's brand new, and again, you can go to saveyourvote.org and see the film that Jamie Foxx says you must see. Leonardo DiCaprio will be releasing Instagram this week on, telling people this is what you must do. And I'm working again with. I just spoke to Reverend Jackson in Chicago, who actually mentioned the film to Kamala Harris and President Biden, because he's so worried about these vigilante challenges. So if Reverend Jackson, in his, he's quite sickly, who's gone out of his way to make sure that the President of the United States knows about this. I think you can look at the film. And I want to say, by the way, Vigilantes, Inc., while it is a serious film, it's not your PBS white guys in front of bookcases, good for your film. It's actually quite entertaining. And when I confront this woman, Mark, with the picture of her neighbors and say, well, you challenged her vote and you violated the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871, she throws me out. And believe me, I didn't overstay my welcome because she had a loaded AK-47 next to her door, ammo up to the ceiling, guns all over the place. My local camera crew literally fled for their life, but I had a combat experienced cameraman still with me. And then we have the vigilante with the 6-gun. And you'll love this. I'm not giving away too much because there's so many things. We had him come when he had this vigilante dressing like Doc Holliday. I say, do you know what house you're in? No. I said, well, let me introduce your host. This is Major Gamaliel Turner, who's flown in from Fort Hueneme, California, from the military base. Mm-hmm. Did you know that you challenged his vote? He said, oh, I don't know. I said, you stopped him from getting a ballot. Do you want to apologize to this man? And he absolutely refused to apologize to the major.
What was his rationale, Greg? What was his rationale? Why wouldn't he apologize?
Oh, you know what he said? He said, oh, I don't really understand the process. I said, you don't understand the process. You challenged 4,000 black soldiers. You don't understand the process? And as the major pointed out, he's not some whack. He may be a wacky, but he is the chairman of the Republican Party for this county in southern Georgia. And party chairmen know every rule, everything, and they know exactly what they're doing. But the important thing is this guy the problem is that these vigilante challenges are spreading. There are going to be literally hundreds of thousands of voters of color who don't even know their challenge. They're going to show up at the polling. They won't get their ballots, and they won't know why. They'll show up at the polling station. They're going to be kicked off. They don't know why. So please bring all kinds of ID, everything you can. In some states like Wisconsin, where they're mounting challenges, you can re-register. A lot of states, you can re-register on the day. By the way, that's true of California. You can re-register. If they say you're no longer registered, say, well, then I'll register right now.
Interesting point.
But I want, again, to understand this story. You want to see the film Vigilantes, Inc. So go to SaveYourVote.org. You can stream it for free. And by the way, you can check your registration at that site. You can get information how to protect your vote at that site. And that's a site that is being sponsored by Leonardo DiCaprio. So it's entertaining, it's horrifying, it's very funny in a way. When she threw me out because I didn't get shot, it was actually quite funny in the end, looking back on it. At the moment, it was scary as hell. But
I can imagine.
Once I got out,
Greg,
it was funny.
I got to stop you there for a second because there's a real important question that comes out of this.
Okay. Yes.
Are the Democrats and specifically Kamala Harris doing enough to counteract this? Because this could cost her an election. Easily cost her an election. Is she doing enough?
Well, no. You know, the Democratic Party has been afraid of discussing vote suppression for decades. But she has finally made a change. And like I said, Reverend Jackson spoke to her and his daughter Santita and said, this is going to cost you the election. So she hired Mark Elias, he's this top voting rights attorney, and vigilante attacks are what he's been screaming about. He said, this is a virus out of Georgia. So he's the only guy that's picking up my stuff. But she's hired him. That's a brand new thing for the Democratic Party, I will say. But I'm going to tell you something right now, Mark. If you are expecting a political party to save your vote, forget about it. You save your vote. You go to SaveYourVote.org.
You're preaching to the converted, Greg. I know that the political parties are not the people you can depend on to make sure you're able to exercise your franchise, but certainly they have self-interest, don't they?
Yes, but the Democratic Party, until now, they did not want to talk about vote suppression. they say it discourages people from voting. That's nonsense. Stacey Abrams, who I have in my film, you'll see in Vigilantes Inc., I talked to Stacey Abrams and Reverend Warnock. She proved that if you say they're trying to steal your vote, they're stealing your vote because it's valuable. They wouldn't steal it otherwise. No one's going to steal a junk car. They're stealing it because it's valuable, and she proved that you could massively increase turnout by telling people you vote because they don't want you to. And so we don't rely on the political parties. Because Stacey Abrams at least got it into the conversation. You'll see her in the film, but you can't count on the political parties to help you. So that's why we're working with Black Voters Matter Fund, with the NAACP, Rainbow Push, et cetera, and with the Hispanic organization Southwest Voter Registration Project, to not only make this a film. It's not just a movie; it's a movement. We are trying to make sure that you fight these vigilantes, that you're prepared, that you keep checking your registration at SaveYourVote.org, and share
Greg
the film
Pallas
with your
is our
friends.
guest. Greg, we got to take a break for news at the bottom of the hour, but I want to continue this conversation with you and talk with you not just about the film, which is crucially important, but how you managed to assemble so many people, from Jamie Foxx to Leonardo DiCaprio, Rosario Dawson, who's the narrator, to Martin Sheen, who helped produce it. These are household names, and I got to find out from you how you managed to get them all on board. But we have to break. So we'll be back very shortly. This is the Tavis Smiley program. My name is Mark Riley. Forward shortly.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Welcome to a Wednesday. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Sean Diddy Combs is expected to appeal a decision to keep him detained until his federal criminal trial. The African-American hip-hop and business mogul pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking and racketeering charges yesterday. Vice President Kamala Harris is spending lots of time in Philadelphia. Harris was in town yesterday for an interview with the National Association of Black Journalists. Her visit came on National Voter Registration Day and a week after her debate with former President Donald Trump. The Alabama NAACP is suing the state over the purging of voter rolls across the state. The organization is challenging state officials over its desire to kick out non-citizens and naturalized voters. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers pitching staff had another bad performance last night in Miami. The Marlins pounded the Dodgers 11-9. The Dodgers bullpen gave up 7 runs. The only good news for the Dodgers last night was San Diego's loss to Houston. The Dodgers still lead San Diego by 3.5 in the NL West. The LA Sparks lost to Phoenix 85-81 in their final home game of the WNBA NBA season. The loss assured the Sparks of having the most losses in a single season in WNBA history. The Sparks are 7-32 with 1 game remaining. 31 losses was the previous mark. The Sparks, who finished 5-15 at home, wrap up this dismal season Thursday at Minnesota. UCLA gymnast Jordan Childs has filed a request with the Supreme Court in Switzerland to overturn a ruling at the Paris Olympics that forced her to give up her bronze medal in the floor exercise to Anna Barbosa of Romania. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Compassion sponsorship means food, health care, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year and their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
October 2nd is California Clean Air Day. Go Metro for free and help cut down on pollution and traffic. It's our way of thanking you because every ride makes a difference. Let's clear the air together. Ready to go right now? Head to metro.net.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
We're back. My name is Mark Riley, sitting in for Tavis Smiley, and it has been a great week, and we have a very, very special guest. His name is Greg Palast. If you're not familiar with his work, he's written a book called The Best Democracy Money Can Buy. He's done all kinds of investigative journalism, and he's got a new film out, Vigilantes, Inc. It's been produced by Martin Sheen, narrated by Rosario Dawson. It's streaming free on... Greg, hit it. What's the name of the site?
Go to saveyourvote.org. Save your vote, not my vote, his vote. Saveyourvote.org, and you can stream the film and also check your registration, do all the other things you need to protect your vote. Don't let anyone steal your vote. They steal it because it's valuable.
Absolutely. Greg, how did you put this together? I mean, you got all kinds of folks working on it. How did you do it?
Yeah. Well, the story is I was a BBC television investigative reporter, and I moved from London back home to Los Angeles, where I was born. And I found out that I had a huge following in Hollywood. George DiCaprio, who makes wonderful brilliant documentaries with his son Leonardo, and they asked me to make this film. In fact, Leonardo just sent a text yesterday. He watched the film again. He just said, "Wow!" And so he's sending out the notice to his Instagram list today or tomorrow. Make sure people go to SaveYourVote.org, and also besides George DiCaprio is my producer with Martin Sheen, but also one more producer is Maria Florio. She's already won an Oscar, an Academy Award for Best Documentary, and so she was also very helpful in bringing in this team, and the wonderful Rosario Dawson. These people have just been tremendous in helping us get this out. In fact, we have a short PSA with Yvette Nicole Brown of Community. The Hollywood community is getting behind us because it's a way to get around. You know, you just heard that. Just like Tavis, I'm locked out of the U.S. a lot of the U.S. mainstream media because in the film there's a reason. In the film you will see I do undercover work, and that's no longer allowed on with U.S. outlets. So I have to do that for BBC or independently with this wonderful team that we have. So I do good old-fashioned gumshoe detective reporting, like to get into that woman's house with the 32,000 who challenged 32,000 black people, almost all black people. Some of them are young people too. She challenged this Republican official challenged 32,000 people. I mean, I had to set up a front to do that. To get the guy with the 6 guns, we do undercover stuff and lure these people in front of our cameras. And you can't do that.
Wait a minute, is that illegal to do in America?
No,
now?
it's not at all. Not illegal whatsoever. As long as I don't use fraud, and I don't use payments or entrapment or anything like that. So, and in fact, at BBC Television, at The Guardian, if I didn't do that, I would lose my job. If I say this person won't, first we ask people if they'll do a straight up interview. If they refuse, with BBC or The Guardian and the European papers, you would lose your job as a journalist if you didn't figure out how to get that interview. You got to go. You have to do whatever it takes. You have to. Sometimes we do a stakeout all night outside, in the bushes outside someone's house. But in America, it's all very no comment from the Republican Party. Oh, we can't talk. So it's all very dry stuff. It's all about numbers. And yes, I told you about the 852,000 voters already challenged. But what I can show you, which you won't see on U.S. television, is you won't meet Major Gamaliel Turner, the African-American officer whose vote was taken away. And you get to meet his family. His father, Harold Turner, Reverend Harold Turner, was Martin Luther King's partner in founding the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with Ralph Abernathy. They picked on the wrong guy, but you got to meet him, you got to meet his family, and then you have to meet the perpetrators. And see,
yeah, because you managed to get a few of them on record, huh? The perpetrators.
Yeah, so
you actually did manage to get to them.
Yeah. So, I do a totally different type of old-fashioned gumshoe detective work, investigative reporting, and it's just not done in the U.S. anymore. So, but what's important is that we get to the people who really need this. I mean, I've been, I will say the New York Times has covered me, and Washington Post, and MSNBC, all these guys. But what's more important, the reason I love working with people in Hollywood is it helps us reach people who aren't political junkies and don't keep on MSNBC all day. So it's very important. And so that's why we're giving away the film, because it's a weapon for voter protection. So you go to SaveYourVote.org, check your registration, get the number to take with you. We have an 800 number for lawyers standing by if you have problems at the polls or you can't get your ballot. And then you can download or you stream the film for nothing and pass on the link. Hold house parties showing the film. It is entertaining. It is. I mean, it's fun. It's also heartbreaking. And because one of the things we bring up, vote suppression didn't just fall from the sky. You have to go back to Jim Crow. You have to go back to the black laws, and you have to go back to enslavement. Do you know that the governor of Georgia, and you'll see this in the film, the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, that's a change of the family name. As under the name Habersham, they were the first family to bring enslaved Africans to Georgia.
Really?
Georgia had outlawed slavery. Dig this. Georgia had outlawed slavery. And Georgia, by the way, was the entire Georgia territory before the American Revolution was the entire Deep South was Georgia territory. And they had outlawed slavery. But the Kemp's family, the governor's family, the current governor's family, got a special dispensation from King George, the guy that we got rid of, to bring in Africans in chains. And they showed him, because they were experts. They're technical experts, by the way. Because they knew how to, the British didn't know how to grow rice, but they were from the African rice coast. And they showed these people how to grow rice. By the way, some of them didn't know that they were going to be slaves. They actually contracted. We'll come in and show you how to grow rice. And they were under contracts, like consultants. And then they said, oh, now that you're here, you ain't leaving, nor are your children, nor are your grandchildren going to be leaving. You're on this plantation. And that's how the current governor made his current millions. It's literally off the backs of these people. And his cousin told us that she's ashamed that her cousin, the governor, won't admit that that's where her family's wealth comes from. And
Greg
so
Tavis, I got to ask
in
you
the film
this.
too. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about how recent events play into Vigilantes Inc. Because I think it's important for people to realize you're talking about a situation now where Donald Trump has he was shot at once. Apparently somebody was looking to shoot at him, and he's now blaming the Democratic Party and blaming Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. How does all this play into the vigilante situation?
Well, we only have this because of Donald Trump. Just so you know, it started with a film called 2,000 Mules, put together by the group that put together these vigilante hit lists of 2 million people. They're going to get rid of 2 million people for this election. This is a danger. And it started with Donald Trump releasing this film called 2,000 Mules at Mar-a-Lago. And so we ended up with 10 million MAGA nuts watching this film in which black men are accused of stuffing ballot drop boxes. And what they say in this film, they say black men were given $10 for every ballot they illegally dropped that they forged and put into a drop box. Now, Mark, let me tell you something. First of all, so the Georgia Republicans, who are right-wing vote suppression experts, but they had to open up every single drop box ballot in Georgia, go through it, and identify the voter. Because, by the way, your mail-in ballot is not secret. Only your vote itself is secret, but the fact that you put it in is not secret. They checked every single ballot, not one illegal ballot, but yet they're saying black men would take $10 to commit a felony crime. And by the way, every drop box has video on it. So you're saying that black men will take $10 to commit a felony crime on camera. And so
was this Dinesh D'Souza's film?
Yes, this is the Dinesh D'Souza film. And now they're being sued to fare thee well by the black men that they said were what they called mules. You're calling black men mules? Okay. And that kicked off this craziness. So now they said, okay, if you want to stop this, you have to challenge voters. Now, by the way, the name vigilante.
No, wait, hold on, Greg, because I know we got to get all this information in, and we don't have that much time to do it. But we have to take a break. Greg Tavis is our guest, investigative journalist and filmmaker. So stay with us.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
So you may have heard of Project 2025, a plan crafted by Trump and his MAGA loyalists to give Trump virtually unchecked political power and take Black America backwards. Here's how. Project 2025 strips away our voting rights protections, and it eliminates the Department of Education. It would siphon public school funding to private schools, leaving our kids behind. Planning on going to college? Good luck paying for it. Project 2025 cuts funding for federal student loans. Trump's Project 2025 would also make states monitor women's pregnancies, and it bans abortion. Project 2025 would also gut Obamacare, ripping away health care from millions. Simply put, Trump's Project 2025 would be devastating to Black America. But we can stop it by voting for Kamala Harris for president, because we are not going back.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for president.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the AmeriCAN Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the AmeriCAN program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The AmeriCAN Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriCANCommunity.partners. That's AmeriCANCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
11 minutes before the hour, Greg Palast, investigative journalist, filmmaker, and much, much more, is our guest. Greg, I want to ask you about the politics of joy. What exactly is that?
The politics of joy?
Yeah.
Well, because you have the politics of anger coming from Agent Orange. Mr. Trump. It's all about, you have to go, I've been to these MAGA rallies, and our staff has been to 20 of them with Trump. It's anger, it's vitriol, it's resentment. They're getting nothing except a guy who's saying, the elites are coming after you. Stacey Abrams is going to turn your state into Venezuela. You know, it's like, you know, you'll see in a film a guy who wants to secede. He wants Georgia to secede from the Union again. They want to restart the Civil War. The guy worked plucking chickens in a chicken factory. He gets minimum wage. He had no front teeth. And he was willing to give up health care, a higher minimum wage, a living wage, just so he could applaud some guy saying they're out to get you. And Kamala Harris and sensible Republicans, too, are saying, whatever happened to America the Beautiful, you know, like the land of opportunity, something positive about who we are and who we can be, you know? And so that's the politics of joy, to celebrate the best parts of America. And you'll hear Gamaliel Turner at the end, because we showed the January 6th riot, and he says, look, we're moving forward. And there's some people who will resent that, but we will overcome it. You know, and you know, it isn't we might overcome, we shall overcome, okay? And these guys are trying to hold back history, and so they're angry and resentful. They would rather literally give up their health insurance just so that they could poke their fingers in the eyes of what they consider the elite. And they're very resentful. You go to a place like Georgia, remember, who are the billionaires? Who are the people running Georgia? It's the black capital of America in Atlanta, and the people downstate who are working in the chicken factories and stuff. They're resentful. So the politics of joy is about celebrating America, and celebrating what we can be, celebrating our ideals. Doesn't mean we've gotten there. Doesn't mean that the project is done. But these people want to go backwards. And the only way you can go backwards is by being angry about the future, so that you glorify the past and your Confederate flags and your idiot horse statutes with the Confederates on them. You know, that stuff, by the way, was not put up after the Civil War. That was in the beginning of the century when the Ku Klux Klan arose again. And by the way, the name of the film, Vigilantes, Inc., the reason we use the name Vigilantes, Inc., these new vigilantes, is that Vigilantes, Inc. was the name of the Ku Klux Klan, which incorporated itself as Vigilantes, Inc. in Georgia in 1946 for the purpose of mass challenges of black voters in Georgia. And that's where vigilantes, when these groups are proudly calling themselves vigilantes, you have to understand that's the Ku Klux Klan plan that we are seeing. What Trump is doing with these mass challenges and his people, that's the old Ku Klux Klan plan shot into cyberspace. So instead of filling out pieces of paper to challenge Mark Riley, they're actually just sending in emails with thousands of names that they haven't even looked at. They just get it from this right-wing Trumpite group, True the Vote. So anyway, I want to remind people you can get it for free. You can get it for free. Download it for free at SaveYourVote.org. SaveYourVote.org.
Hold that thought, Greg. We are going to be right back. We have a couple of minutes left after this break. And I want to make sure everybody knows about this film and how to access it. This is the Tavis Smiley program.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
Indeed, the program does. We're in the home stretch with Greg Palast. He is a documentarian. He is an investigative reporter. And Greg, I have to ask you in a couple of minutes we have left, are you, despite all of the things that you document in Vigilantes, Inc., are you optimistic about the future of the nation?
Absolutely. Because in 2020, we had almost all those vigilante attacks rejected. They got about 12,000 people thrown off the rolls, including all those black soldiers from Fort Benning. But
Greg? Oh, it looks like we have a wee bit of a line problem. Looks like he just dropped. Hopefully we'll get him back before we leave you today. We only got a couple of minutes left, but I want to emphasize something to all of you who are listening to me today. Greg Palast is one of the most important people in America. He's one of the most necessary people in America. He stands for all those people who do not have a voice. I tried to do that when I was working in radio back in New York, to be a voice for the voiceless. Greg has been a relentless voice for the voiceless. And this clarion call, which this movie documents, Vigilantes, Inc., America's new vote suppression hitmen, if they get their way, a certain person will be reelected to the White House, and he will do so through subterfuge, through trickery, or as Don King used to say, trickeration. And it is time that it stops. And Greg Palast, I want to thank personally, not just for spending the time with me, but for all of the work you have done through the years, because we go way, way back. We are out of here, back tomorrow for my final day substituting for Tavis Smiley, and it has been a real honor. And hey, oh, Greg, you back on, are you? Oh, I guess he's not. But look, have yourselves a great day, and please stay woke.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Welcome to a Wednesday. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Sean Diddy Combs is expected to appeal a decision to keep him detained until his federal criminal trial. The African-American hip-hop and business mogul pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking and racketeering